शुभांगी मैम
Yes sir, शुरू करें sir.
प्लीज हाँ.
Okay. Good evening to all the respected dignitaries, resource persons, participants, and dear colleagues. My name is Shubhangi Amre, and I am a research scholar of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Maharashtra. It gives me an immense pleasure to moderate this session of our e-workshop titled Enhancing Research Visibility and Use of ORCID, organized by Indian Research Scholars Association. We are truly honored by your presence and participation today. This workshop aims to introduce and promote the use of ORCID, that is Open Researcher and Contributor ID, among researchers, scholars, and academicians. ORCID provides a unique digital identifier that distinguishes researchers and ensures that their academic contributions are accurately attributed across journals, institutions, and databases globally. For the session, we have three speakers. They are Assistant Librarian on Senior Skill in Indian Institute of Technology, New Delhi. Second is Professor Shiv Rama Rao sir. Sir is a professor and head Department of Library and Information Science, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, and sir is also project director of ORCID. Our third speaker is Miss Priya. She is a research scholar of Department of Library and Information Science, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, and she is also a project director of ORCID. Now, I invite the visionary president of Indian Research Scholars Association, Mr. Vikash Kumar sir, for
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Subhangi madam. So first of all, I would like to welcome uh, on this platform to respected my mentor and also I can say my teacher to Dr. Mohit Garg sir, because sir was belong from my university, but now sir has joined uh, in the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Delhi. So uh, I can say as it is a its association is a inspirations has provided like persons of the Dr. Mohit sir and others from my university. So on behalf of the Indian Research Scholars Association and on behalf of me, I would like to welcome to respected Mohit sir, and I would like to also welcome to Professor Rao and Miss Priya. uh, I think they will join later. So on behalf of me and IRSA, I would like to welcome to both, and I would like to welcome all the participants who have joined from the various parts of the India. When I was saying the registration details of the participants, so I think we have received 110 registrations from various central universities, state universities, and college. And I can see on the screen the several participants had joined from the uh, 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 Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and some had joined from the Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, and also in the other part of the India. So today we will learn more from Dr. Mohit Garg sir. So I will not take more time. Thank you so much, Ms. Subhangi, for giving me opportunity. Thank you. So over to you.
Thank you, sir. Without further delay, I invite our esteemed speaker, Dr. Mohit Garg, sir, to begin the session.
Thank you,
Please, sir.
Subhangi, and thank you, Vikas. A kind of a system at Amarkanta we used to follow. So I'll start the same by Narmade Har to everyone. And it's a great, I'll say, kind of initiative has been taken by Vikas. I really congratulate him for the vision of forming an Indian Research Scholar Association, the kind of a channel which is required in India to bring, there are like many channels are there are many forums are there, they are like for specific for economics people, they are for sociology people, they are for library and info science people, but bringing everyone at one single place and doing all the activities throughout the year and pursuing his course also. So his efforts are really means we should congratulate Vikas and his team for creating this channel. And also I believe that in future this channel will not only be limited to this, because I have seen that Vikas is continuously organizing webinars and online session. And soon I'll see. I was thinking of like if it can be like get some grants and funds from some institution, then Vikas and his team can hold offline sessions for the betterment of researchers, and that's it. So before going ahead, I would also like to thank Professor Rao and Ms. Priya from Central Institute of Himachal Pradesh for giving me this opportunity to speak about ORCID. If I talk about few of the things about the activities what we are taking up in India, we are the three official grantee of ORCID. First is in Filmnet Gandhinagar, then second is IIT Delhi, and third is Central Institute of Himachal Pradesh. And IIT Delhi and Central Institute of Himachal Pradesh is quite activities of IIT Delhi and Central Institute of Himachal Pradesh is quite similar. We are not only on ORCID but about open access publishing, how researcher can publish in open access. So in view of that, Central Institute of Himachal Pradesh mandate is to organize webinars throughout India, and I think they have already organized around 10 to 12 webinars in different universities. And now they are, means that their idea is to go around each of the university institution and also of different forums, different associations, and in future they will be going there. If I talk about our mandate at IIT Delhi, our mandate is to go ahead about researchers to start their own open access journal. And I just recommend to Vikas also that if under IRSA they can bring one research journal, and for that my team at IIT Delhi can support in starting that journal and to be indexed in reputed platform like streamline. And in coming days, IIT Delhi is conducting offline workshop at different places. One it will be at Hari Singh Gaur Sagar University, Madhya Pradesh. Then one will be at I'm trying to do at my own place from where I started my career, and basically I believe that my birth has been done from that place. So one is at Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak. Then one will be at Chhatrapati Ji Sahu Ji Maharaj Kanpur University, and then one will be in Guru Jambheswar University of Science and Technology, Hisar, Haryana. So these are the quite of the things. So I'll just share my PPT, and if can you anyone confirm that if it's visible to you. I think my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what I'll be doing in the next around 40 to 45 minute session, I'll try to connect the things, I'll not go directly to the ORCID, and I'll be talking about much of the concepts of what we all are doing. Okay. We all are from different disciplines, and that's the idea, what IRSA is doing and what ORCID is doing is the same thing, that bringing all of the research scholars at one particular place. So I'll try to connect you and try to bring you under the same umbrella. and then I'll be discussing about some of the features of ORCID and how you can be make use of ORCID much of for your promotions, for your visibility of publications, and also it's becoming a kind of mandate in different institutions like publisher houses. What they have done is that you must have the ORCID ID. So that was my idea. Okay. So initially I'll be doing about I'll be discussing about some of the kind of work we all are doing, kind of science we all are doing in. Then there are like what exactly the really importance of research identifiers, and then I'll go ahead with the ORCID, what exactly ORCID is. After that, I'll be discussing about as a researcher what it look like, and then few of the services of ORCID, like ORCID is just not a tool for getting an ID, but it's other than this, it provides multiple other services which can be taken as beneficial for the different institution. So the idea is that we all are doing science. Okay, like when we do that, when we say that we are a scientist or we are doing science, it does not mean that somebody is sitting in the lab and somebody is doing some chemical experiment, or somebody is doing some kind of physics instruments, all those chemistry kind of thing. But we all are doing science, and the idea of science, the meaning of science is like the word science is originated from Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. And whether we are from social science, whether we are from humanities, arts, we all are doing some kind of science in understanding the environment where we are living in. Okay, so for us, generally when we say that somebody is doing science, the first thing comes in our mind that somebody is wearing the lab coat and sitting in the lab. But for us, if we talk about social science and arts and humanities, our lab is different, our tools are different, our analysis is different. But our idea is that we need to understand the society where we are living in. We need to understand the environment where we are living in, and for the betterment of the society, for the effectiveness of different mechanism to live in the society. So we all do science, like and that kind of science we do based on this kind of a scientific process. Okay, so it's not like today I'll say that 2 plus 2 equal to 7. Okay, or maybe like I'll say that this bottle is there, and this bottle is a kind of a medicine for treatment of X disease. Okay, it can't be said like that. Okay, so we all follow, whether we are from any other domain, we all follow this scientific process. And what we say is that the scientific process, we first observe the phenomena. Based on that observation, we give some of the hypotheses, we plan our experiment, and we conduct the experiment, and we get the results. Okay, so this is the kind of a 5-step we all follow for kind of knowledge to generated in our domain. Then in the last step, which is very important step and which is ignored by much of us, the communication of results, like whatever the knowledge we have generated by doing a by spending a huge amount of time and money to generate that knowledge, and we just communicate those results in, say for example, like people say that I should get the acceptance in 15 days, or maybe in Scopus index, but we don't talk about the real impact. Okay, because we need to communicate the result for the betterment of the society also. Okay, and I'll discuss about that, why it's important, that why we need to communicate the results in a better way. So in theoretical perspective, the communication of results is we define it as science communication. And the science communication, the whole concept of science communication, as because whatever you have done in these 5 steps, at the last step you came up about some of the science, you have generated some of the knowledge. That's why we call it as science communication. So under science communication, we call it we say that we disseminate the knowledge. And which knowledge we disseminate? The knowledge which is generated using scientific method. And to whom we have to disseminate this knowledge? We have to disseminate this knowledge to expert and lay people. And that's very important part. Whenever we are selecting any of the source, like say for example, as soon as we come up like, oh, we have identified this knowledge from our research, we first think of that oh, we will go about Scopus Index Journal, or we will go about some kind of impact factor 10 or 15 kind of a journal. But we never thought of like, we need this knowledge should be communicated to the general public also. Okay. And this we have seen, very significantly in during COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, during COVID-19 pandemic, much of the research has been shared in open access and multiple platforms so that people can access, okay, this is the real knowledge. And also, like, if some new research has been identified by, let's take an example, by Vikas at Amarkantak, and he just publishes some kind of research journal, maybe that is accessible to a few of the institution of India. Okay, so it can't be accessible to everyone, and that's how this whole idea of communication of science failed. And we need to think of some of the easy accessible way. Now there are like there are multiple channels of this communicating science are there. Okay, so one of the example is journal, which is very like we all aim to publish in journals, in any journal, based on different factors. Then there are like conferences, symposiums, seminars are there, books and are there. If you are a PhD scholar, thesis and dissertations are there. That's a kind of a mandate is there. Then patents are there, lectures are there, reports are there, website are there, blogs. You can write a blogs on your research. You can write a social media page or social media post also. But the thing is that as soon as you will write, like if any of you from maybe journalism side or media side, okay, so you may write so many editorial board, you may write so many editorial or maybe news article. But when at the time of the assessment, people will talk about how many journal article you have, or how many the Scopus Index or those impact factor journal you have. People will not talk about the how many news articles you have, and that's really have the kind of impact what we can think of. Okay, so that's the idea, and we need to think of like there are these channels we need to be kind of make our in our ecosystem, that these channels also to be preferred in communicating the science. So as of now, I just take up you about like what we all are doing. Okay, we all are trying to do research. We all are generating the new knowledge, and then we try to publish. Okay, so now the question comes is that why we need to make it this visibility of science. Okay, sometimes people say that we need to very some kind of a loose comment that we need to do visibility of science, and some people regularly do their work visible on like sharing on Facebook that I am thrilled to announce that I have published this publication. I'm excited to announce my publication in this journal, Impact Factor 5 or 6. And then all people will say that congratulations, Dr. Mohit, you are doing a great work and all. But this is not an only one aspect of why we need to do the visibility of science, but the visibility of science is also required because just now I have discussed about, let's say an example like Vikas have discovered some medicine for treatment of a disease, and with the help of some leaves, some indigenous leaves from Amarkantak region. And if he identified that kind of a treatment, and if he did not make it visible to everyone, okay, so nobody can even first is validate that particular thing, whether Vikas has really identified or something, some treatment, or also nobody will make the benefit of that research, because Vikas has put so much efforts in finding that treatment of disease. So that's why we need a kind of a visibility of science. So there are some reasons are there why we need to make it a visibility of science. So for me, when I talk about like when I started my PhD, for me the visibility of science is required just to, maybe we can take an example like just I want to showcase my work, that okay, I'm doing this work, okay, or maybe to motivate myself, okay, yes, I'm doing good work, okay. And you see a kind of a direct relationship between motivation and appreciation, okay. The more you be appreciated, oh, Dr. Mohit, you are doing a great work, you will be getting more motivated and you will be doing more work. So that is an obvious aspect of making up science visible. But other than this, a few other reason, but we need to, each of us, we need to think of that why we need to make the science visible. The very first is our Constitution of India. Our Constitution of India says that as per Article 51AH, we need to develop the scientific temperament, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. And this could be only possible, like if we, each of us, whatever the things what we have shared on our research paper, it should be shared in an easy way to our general people, so that they could also understand, okay, this is the kind of real research, this kind of thing is said by researchers, and this can't be done. Like some people, and this was, we have seen during the, we are seeing now also, there are like lot many misinformation has been already circulated, but we have majorly seen during the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you see, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was said that it's it's pandemic killing the people, but it's also infodemic means the kind of false information has been circulated down, and this false circulation of false information can only be stopped when the real research is be shared with the people. Okay, that's the kind of a thing is there. Other than this, why we need to make it the visibility of science, like say for example, I'm doing some work at Delhi, and I claim that, okay, this is this kind of a work I have done, and this is the solution for this problem. So a kind of a validation is required. Okay, it's not like whatever I say, I belong to some reputed institution, but still it should be validated. It should be validated by different people, different peers of that domain, so that they could able to relate. Okay, this is the mechanism they have followed. They have the methodology what I have followed, and based on that methodology, I got that result. So the same kind of result they also get it, so that they can validate. Okay, this research is this kind of knowledge what they have generated is really kind of valuable. If we don't make it visible that research, nobody can even validate that kind of work. Then again, it's important that why we need to make a visibility of science is to for the progress of science. Okay, so unless you make the visible of your science, like say for example, let's take an example of x-rays. Okay, so the kind of x-rays research has been done, and based on that, the kind of medical imaging. Okay, so the medical imaging are taking up the advantages of x-rays to know what exactly inside our body is going on. So that's a kind of a progress of science is going on. Everyone is doing that thing, and this is how new discovery and innovations are done. So this is like some of the examples of how we make it share on social media tools about making our visibility that we are doing a great work. So that kind of a visibility is required. Now, any questions you have? Somebody is posting in the chat.
I think by mistake he had changed hands, sir. Please
Oh,
continue.
okay. Okay, so why another reason is that why we need to have visibility of science, more visibility of science. There are like various research metrics are there. Okay, and I believe you might have aware of like different research metrics, like whether it's H index, I10 index, impact factor, or site score, or maybe the alt metrics. These all kind of metrics which are very popular in assessing our research productivity is based on one unit which is known as citation. And the more your content is visible, it is like more likely to have more citations. And obviously, if you have more citation, then you will get up the more of the research metrics, like research metrics scores in different methods. So that's why it's very important that one must have the kind of visibility of their work. Now, if we take an example of maybe around before 1990, okay, when or 1989, when World Wide Web came. Before that, that like much of us, our work has been in the kind of print form, and we used to share up our work. And the problem with the kind of printed resource is, like, it has the limited visibility. Let's take an example, uh, like Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak, has access to some of the resources, and those resources are in the print form. Now, if someone has to access, somebody is from Delhi, and they need to access those resources, uh, which is available at IGNTU. They need to go to the. I'm talking that you must assume that you are in 1990. Okay. Now, if you need to access any of the resource, you must contact Vikas, and Vikas will immediately give you that resource. But you think of in 1990, 1989, when there is no kind of that kind of internet connectivity is there, and people used to go to that content, and people will come to know that whether that Amarkantak has that access to resources. And it was very limited visibility. Okay, people will think of why I'll go there, if I'll go there, whether I'll get the access or not. But in today's world, we are fortunate that we are getting up this kind of innovation, this kind of a tool, and we need to make up the kind of we need to make up the kind of we need to use this kind of innovation for our research. And today, if any resource is available, not I'm talking about Amarkantak, it's like any part of the world, you can access that thing in its fraction of second. And we all are carrying a kind of a computer in our hand. So this mobile phone is like a computer. You can just simply go to any social media site or anyone, you can contact them, that you provide that content, you will get that. Okay, so that's the kind of we need to make up our content more visible, and today with the help of this we can do that. So now we all are living in a kind of era of digital age, because uh, we you might have seen those YouTube videos, and people used to say that after watching, or maybe sometimes mostly people say in starting only, that please like our work, please share, please comment, please subscribe. But in academia, we don't do that. Okay, and doing like this is not also considered as ethical terms. Like I just publish a work, and I'll just say that because please ask your all IRSA students or IRSA fellows or IRSA team to cite my work, or please read my work. That's a not kind of a system what we follow in academia. In academia, we just share up our thing, and if somebody like it, my content, and somebody want to read my content, it's up to you. It's up to totally onto the part of team, whether they want to read my work or whether they want to cite my work. It's totally up to them. So that's why it's very important that we need to make up our digital profiling, so that people will come to know that, okay, this Dr. Mohit Garg is there, and this is publishing, his work is this, and please read out that. And if it is like, if the more the content will be visible, the more definitely it will be accepted, that you'll get a more citations and the visibility. So I'll be discussing here about like how you can do about creating a digital profiling. Okay, so there are like today we are talking about ORCID, and this webinar is sponsored by ORCID. So there is no this is not the thing that ORCID is just only identifier or only tool is there which are able to make your create your digital profile or to make your research visible. But before that, there are many other platform were there. Like in 1992, there was a kind of platform came which known as author claim. Okay, so author claim was a simple platform, and it displayed a kind of output profiles, and there was a data is also available under open license. But there are some limitations are there. Okay, and that's to be called as innovation. Okay, after that there are many other ID came, and in very recent, in 2006 when Scopus ID came, and then Web of Science Researcher ID is there, and these are becoming very popular. And in 2012, this ORCID ID came, and it has various advantages. Okay, and I'll be discussing about these days what we talk about. Scopus is like we all want to have Scopus ID, okay, but it has some limitation. Okay, we'll discuss that thing with an example thing. Okay, so there are many IDs are there. So this is an example of Web of Science ID. It look like this. Then this is the ID of Google Scholar profile. This is Scopus profile. It look like this. This is ResearchGate. Okay, and there are many IDs are there. Okay, and it's not a good idea, or maybe it's hard to maintain all those profile. Okay, so the best thing is that it has been like maintain a single profile where all these things can be clubbed, and because we all have not only maintaining the interviews, we have to prepare for drafting of for projects, we have to learn new things, so it's like quite hectic task to maintain all those IDs. Okay, that's why ORCID is a kind of that platform is there where you can maintain all of your that thing. Now, why ORCID? Why not Scopus ID and another ID? Let's take an example for that, okay? And I'll just show you example for that. My screen is visible, na? Like you can see Scopus.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Oh,
Visible, sir.
okay. So I'll just write this, and I am here. Now, if you see in my ID, it says that I have been to Indira Gandhi National Tribal University from 2019 to 2021. But that's the wrong information. I have been to Indira Gandhi National Tribal University from 2016 to 2021. And this you can't change in this ID, because what it says that in 2019, my first publication from Indira Gandhi National Tribal University came, which was indexed in Scopus. But before that, I have published many publications, but those publications were not in the Scopus. Other than this, what's important is that your Scopus ID cannot be created unless your publication is in index in Scopus. Like if your journal in which you are publishing in, and if that is not indexed in Scopus, you won't able to create a Scopus ID. But for ORCID, there is no such kind of a limitations are there. Whether you publish in Scopus index, whether you are not publishing Scopus index or any kind of sort, you can easily do that. Other than this, there is a kind of a problem. You see that in 2022, it says that I have been associated with All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And yeah, I have been associated with Indira Gandhi National co-author for one of the publication was from All India Institute of Medical Science. I was never been associated with the All India Institute of Medical Science, and this you can't edit it down. You have to like the Scopus provides you the information. You can log into that account, and you can just change your affiliation, and you can do that. But you see, many times we have to request them, and it can't be changed. I'll show you one more example for the one of author which is most prolific in terms of number of publication, and I feel very lucky that he is my neighbor also at IIT Delhi. So his total publications are, you see, 2,657 in Scopus. Okay, now he's a very gentleman, and he's too good researcher is that. Okay, that's no like now if you see his institution history, in his institution history, you see there are lot many institution details are mentioned, but he hasn't associated with any of these institutions. He has been associated with IIT Delhi. Okay, but these are the details of his co-author institution, and this has been displayed in Scopus. So that's a kind of kind of limitations are there, and you have very kind of limited control on your ID. Okay, whether you want to edit it down, or whether you want to this like see it down. Okay, then another kind of a problem with the you need to access the Scopus ID, and you need to work on this. Sometimes you need the access of the Scopus. Okay, now not everyone has the access of Scopus, because the subscription cost is quite around 30 to 35 lakh, and depends on the different factors. Okay, so that's why we say that Scopus or the other IDs are not that favorable to the researchers' visibility if we do that. Like if we take out the example of Google Scholar, okay, Google Scholar is an excellent ID. Google Scholar is an excellent platform to show up your content. But at the same time, in Google Scholar also, you can't see the institution history. You can't show up your kind of keywords, like the key work you are doing on. You can't show up your the you have reviewed something, or you have delivered public any other component other than publication. These are few of the challenges of Google Scholar also. Okay, so that's why we go ahead with the ORCID, and I'll just now discuss about ORCID. So ORCID is a kind of a persistent identifier for researchers, and this has been doing this 2012, and they are quite transparent. Okay, they are not saying that it's free, and then after like some of the features have some prices for that. So that's not the thing. So it's totally transparent. So it's a 16-digit ID number is there. It's alphanumeric, and it's totally researcher control. When I say researcher control, it's up to you whether you want to show it your profile to everyone, or you want to show it to only you. Like some of the senior professors are there, or they might be a selection committee member of some recruitment, and they don't. We can't disclose that information, but for the record information, they want to keep it in your details, so they can add the detail at ORCID ID, and they can make it private. Nobody can easily see that information. Now, this ORCID ID is like you think as like Aadhaar, what we have in India as a proof of identity, and the national ID card. So it's like that only. ORCID is a kind of, when you say is persistent identifier, it's remains same. Once you created a 16-digit number, it will remain same whether you change in name, which is very common in terms of our female colleagues. After marriages, their name is changed, or for various reasons names are changed. So that's your ID will remain same. And also sometimes your name changes, name kind of writing of your name change because of this different publishers policy. Like you see, even if you see my profile in some of my publication, it has been written M Garg. Okay, now M Garg can be Mohit Garg also, can be Mukesh Garg also, can be Mohan Garg also. Okay, so that's the kind of disambiguity, ambiguity is there in the kind of this name convention. Okay, now you change your career. Okay, like if you create an kind of institution ID. Okay, if you leave from that institution, that ID will be stopped. Okay, but for ORCID, once your career is started, like you did your graduation from some institution, post graduation from another institution, then assistant professor at another university, associate at professor at another institution, vice chancellor, then UGC chairman, like that your career continuously changes. So ID will remain the same, and same wise location also and discipline, your ORCID ID will remain same. That's why it's we say it as a persistent identifier. So if we see in terms of data, like there was around 3 years back, it was 76 lakh active records were there. If we see in the 23 annual report, it was 8.4 lakh. What is yet to come. And you see here, some of the important information is there, that ORCID records are viewed almost 124 times per minute, and that's the kind of traffic the online traffic is bringing on your researcher profile. Okay, that kind of a traffic is quite difficult to achieve if you create your own website, own blog, and you share of the all of the detail. And again, you need to create, if you creating your website, you need to have some of the free tool like WordPress and all. You need to have some of the skills. But ORCID has a kind of a set structure. You can show up everything, and you can make your content more visible. Now that's the idea, what we are trying to achieve with these awareness program, and why ORCID ID is there. Now you understand that as a researcher, you need to continuously interact with four ecosystems. Okay, four sub ecosystem, I'll say that. First is institutional system. Okay, what is institutional system? That you see in our institution, every year much of the time of our faculty and researcher are wasted in compiling the number of publication, number of the academic activities we are doing in a year. And that's maybe for various reasons, maybe for ranking work, maybe for any of the ratings for, or maybe or the any of the data asked by different institution. And each of the time, we are just compiling these records, and next year we are again compiling these records. But somehow, if all these, everyone just, if we give the task everyone that you maintain your ORCID profile, okay, you maintain your profile, and everything, whatever your information is there, it will be fetched down from your profile, and that could be done using API, like what Aadhaar is doing. Okay, nobody is saying, once you linked your Aadhaar to bank or every other platform, or maybe in academic we see that ABC ID and all. Nobody asks you about your address, okay, because your Aadhaar is linked. As soon as you change your Aadhaar, you update your Aadhaar, that address will be visible, in your different wherever it has been connected down. So that's a kind of, again and again, same kind of a work we are doing in. Then you might have, I don't know how many of faculties have been are joined this session. And if you have submitted let's take an example, if you have submitted a project proposal to ICSR, and if you submit a proposal to ICSR, like, you need to provide the details of 5 publication, your PhD, all those academic details again and again. And though it may not take more than 1 hour, but still it is like, it's taking a time. Okay, but if you have an ORCID ID, and if you apply for, different international agency, they just simply ask your ORCID ID, and your data is visible there, and they can fetch it down. Okay, this much your publication you have, this much grant you get it from different institution. And here I would like to quote one of the important, our philosophy of all the librarians. What we are doing in is 5 laws. Okay, 5 laws of library and information science. And under those 5 laws, there is one important law is there, fourth law, which says that we need to save the time of the reader, save the time of the reader. That is in terms of libraries, but here we used to say that save the time of researcher, so that save the time of the faculty, so that they can focus on more on academic work rather than compiling this record again and again. Now you are continuously interacting with the publisher systems, and there are like, you might have seen that now it has become a kind of a mandate in many publisher system, whether it's Wiley, Taylor Francis, or whether it's Springer, or whether it's Emerald. So they ask you that you provide an ORCID ID, and once ORCID ID is provided, the data is fetched. Okay, so that's the kind of a, it can be done from publisher system. And next is the different discovery and profile system, what your institution is doing. Like in India, one is important profiling system has been developed by Infilibrant Center, which is known as IRINS, which is a kind of create a profile for the researcher. So all those things can be connected, and whatever profile system come, whatever publisher come, whatever institution you go in, whatever funding agency you go in, if you have ORCID ID, and if it is all, everything is connected it down, it can be really achievable, and it could save much of the time. Now it reduces your academic administrative burden because it has been connected to many other databases, other site. Whether we say it is like DOI providers like Crossref, DataSite, or any other ID platform, like you can easily connect your ORCID ID to Scopus ID also. So there are like multiple advantages are seen for use of ORCID for the researcher, but I see two of the important advantages. But as a researcher, is very important. First, it doesn't take any fee. Okay, for researcher, it's totally free. Not only for researcher, like for everyone, it's free. So it's free to use. Okay. Then the second benefit is it saves your time. You just enter once and you can add your details. You don't need not to provide each time all those publications. Okay. So to create an ORCID, it's very simple step. You go for an ORCID website and you can create an account. I'll just show you quickly about how you can create it down. So it change your name variation. I already discussed it down. Again, the name variation can be like this also. Like there can be two Gagandeep Singh. It can be in the same institution, it can be in the same lab, it can be in the same department. Now, how to identify that? How to verify that which Gagandeep Singh is which has submitted this work? Okay, so that's how ORCID follows, and also our publishing system has taken up follow this kind of a standard. Like they take the last name first and consider the first name as a last thing. And you see that's become again a problem for compiling those records. Okay, and there is there is data is there that out of 6 million authors in a major sector, two-thirds share the same last name. Okay, that's an example. You see there are like so many Wang is there, or maybe so many Wang J. You see here Jing Wang and Junjun Wang. Okay, so if we make it as that thing, it will be J Wang. Okay, so it will be quite impossible to understand which J Wang is which one who have contributed to this work. Now there are like this is not only persistent identifier for researchers. There are like multiple persistent identifiers are there. Okay, for each of the different type of work. Like there is a persistent identifier ROR is there, which ROR is a persistent identifier for institution. Then there is a grant DOI is there. Then there is a ISSN number is there, which is a persistent identifier for journals. Okay, and then DOI. So everything this, if everyone use this persistent identifier, this can be connected and it can be, it can, the system can be more smooth, it may be more flowable, so that the data can be transferred from one place to another place. Okay. So it has various advantages I already discussed about. Now, what all details you can add it to the ORCID record. So you can include affiliation, professional activities. You can also add funding information, publications, web output other than publications, and then website URLs. Then you can also add, like the member organization can add the peer reviews, like what are the peer review they have done or the review process they are doing in. So this is like the data. It look like this as a kind of summary. If you need to edit down, you can provide the details like this. And now, this is a very important slide, and I would like to discuss a bit about this. Is that in a research, whenever we do research, okay, we don't do a kind of a solo research. We do sometime, but much of our research is collaborative work. Somebody conceptualize the idea, somebody create collect the data, somebody do the analysis, somebody write the methodology, somebody write the draft, somebody do the referencing. Now, any of the ID what we have discussed previously, whether it's Scopus ID, researcher ID, nowhere it can't be displayed that what kind of a contribution you have done. But when you are creating an ORCID ID and you are providing your work into the ORCID ID, it can be specifically mentioned that what kind of a contribution you have done in that work, and that's very important. Like if, say for example, there are like 5 researchers are there in a paper, and all are claiming that this work they have been done by these 5 people. Now, how to identify who have done this data analysis? Because maybe that data analysis is so tricky one. So that's why it's very important to know, who has done which work. And now this is why many of the journal has already started in asking that if there are two authors, more than one authors are there, then they are asking that what is your contribution, so that we could stop this idea of ghost authoring. Okay, earlier we used to write, like say for example, Mohit Garg has written paper and he has added name of Vikas or Subhangi, everyone in that paper. Now it's mandate kind of a thing that you provide, like what kind of a thing you have done it in that work, and the same kind of thing you can mention, like if your previous work is already accepted in journals and they did not ask about this information, but in our ORCID you can just specifically mention about like what kind of a contribution you made to this work, and this will enhance your profile to a next level. Then you can connect your ORCID ID with the different funding agencies and different, that thing is there. Okay, so the profile look like this, and this is the different IDs are there. You can show the activities, you can add in the funding. Now here I would like to add one of the important and very interesting kind of incident. So what happened is that when I got this project grant from ORCID, and I was just trying to update my profile that I got a grant from ORCID. So you will surprised to know that under the funding agency name, ORCID name itself was not there. Then I requested the funding agency ORCID people that I want to mention in my ORCID profile, please include your organization as under the funding agency, and then they have added, and then I am able to visualize this. So again, that's very important part. This webinar and this session are going on so that you can easily you can add more of your college name, institution name into that thing, and it will be quite easy for the future researcher to create an ID and also to add their college name, because sometimes you see that your college name might not be in their database. So that's again an idea of that thing. So you can clearly see my academic journey. You can see all of the things at one single place. Okay. So this is one of the example which I'll discuss after a demo part. I'll just show you how you can create an ORCID ID, and it's very simple part. So to create an ORCID ID, you need not require anything. You just go to the just here, register now. You provide the names and you provide all the details, and it will ask you the multiple things. Okay, and the way you create Gmail account in a fraction of a second, in the same way you can create an ORCID ID. Now, if you see my ORCID ID, so in my record, you can see this biography is there, this email address is there, because I am making a mandate as visible to everyone. But if I change to, let's change to private, only me. Okay. Now this email ID will not be visible. Okay, only my LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook will be visible. Okay, I can hide this information. So that's the researcher control. You can hide any information. Okay, you can hide like you want to add any further confidential work you have done, and so you can make it is private. Only me. It will not be visible to everyone. It will be only visible to you. So this is how you can control your ORCID ID, and this is how you can manage your ORCID profile. Now, that's the example which I would like to discuss here, and I'll stop my session for question answers. This is one of the scholars of our at IIT Delhi, and his paper was rejected because his verification of ORCID could not be done with his name. Okay, that's why you see that it is written that unfortunately we have rejected your manuscript based on the unavailability to verify your identity using ORCID. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that now ORCID is not just a kind of a voluntary thing. 4 to 5 years back, it was a voluntary thing. Okay, just do things. It will be one more ID. We can create it down. But these days, ORCID has become a kind of a mandate. Journals are rejecting the studies. So that is why you create an ORCID ID, add your work there, and if you have any issue, please free to reach out to me or either Professor Rao or his team at Central Institute of Himachal Pradesh will definitely help you in creating your profile more visible to online world. So I'll stop here. If you have any question, any observation, please feel free to ask here.
Thank you so much, Mohit sir, for your insightful approach on ORCID. You have truly clarified how ORCID helps researchers in uniquely identifying their academic work, ensuring proper attribution, and building a credible digital identity in the research community. The demonstration and real life examples you shared were particularly helpful in understanding the practical benefits of using ORCID for publication tracking, collaboration, and career visibility. I am sure our participants found this session highly informative and are now more confident about creating and maintaining their ORCID profiles. Now, if there are any questions specifically related ORCID, that is ORCID, I invite the participants to kindly post them in the chat box or unmute your device and ask.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Rao here.
Yes, Professor Rao, Project
First of
Director
all,
ORCID is there with us.
very good evening, everybody. And it was so good that you were highly professional talk. And it has, I think, reached a level where we have to understand now that we are reaching in a different space as a kind of a research. And as you mentioned in the beginning, that research output is very important, but many a times we do research and we spend time so much that like that 3 years, 4 years, 5 years like that. But ultimately, when the research output is not going to the grassroots level or the needy, then we may think that the research is like unused. It is like हम घर में जब सब्जी बनाते हैं, कुछ भी खाना बनाते हैं, हो सकता है हम बहुत अच्छे शेफ है, बट अल्टीमेटली जब उसको लोग बोलेंगे, कमेंट करेंगे कि हमें अच्छा नहीं लगा, ये नहीं चाहिए हमें, ठीक है ना. इट्स द सेम काइंड ऑफ ए फीलिंग व्हिच आवर सोसाइटी फील्स at one point of time. And this I should thank Vikas ji, the coordinator of this program, and the president of Indian Research Association, and Shubhangi ji from BMU as a convener, and Manorama ji from Jamia Millia Islamia, Hemant ji, Asha Purohit ji from. I think these kind of activities we should, we keep on, we have to keep it a tab like that. We should conduct maybe quarter, like every 3 months or 6 months, because this is how we can engage the researchers. As we all know, maybe now it is east, but we are again, it's the northern part. We are little engaged with the kind of a situation we are facing here. I think this kind of activities are more important to the nation, where we can all live together and disseminate knowledge and engage with our research perspectives, so that Bharat can reach in a different height. And once again, I thank you all for joining this session from different places. And Mohit has given a very elaborate talk on this, that why we choose ORCID and why not other identifiers. Maybe other identifiers have their own, kind of a positivity. But ultimately, the question is that like why Bharat has come with the Aadhaar identity. It's like kind of a researcher also. He has to be identified at some point of time. That's why we miss most of the time in society. What happens is you have done very good research, but it is not reaching the global level, and you will end up at some point they think that nobody has cited my article, nobody has given importance to my research. That's why we are coming with this kind of a webinar, and that's why some agency has sponsored this kind of a project to to take over in India. Generally what happens, for example, if somebody is doing a very good work at remote places, but he don't know the channels of science communication or social science communication, how to reach that research to the grassroots level. And we are not just talking about India. We are always talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are always talking about the world at a global level, that everyone has to be prosper their life. Every country should be prosperous, and there should be peace should be prevailed across the world. So this is one of those very 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 minute, what you can say, that a sand in a a grain of a sand in a ocean, okay, or in the beach. So we are making our own efforts to make some kind of a contribution in the journey of research. So once again, I thank you all for especially for accepting our invitation and making this webinar. Definitely, we are all tied up with the different problems here, so we could not meet personally. Maybe in coming days, maybe there will be a platform we all come together in a offline mode, and we will meet in person. And Dr. Mohit is there. He is very energetic and highly engaged with these kind of activities. He will make this project successful. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So here, Professor Arun Patnaik, sir, Dean of the Social Science Faculty, University of the Hyderabad, is present here. So, sir, I would like to invite you. You want to ask
Yeah.
something? Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you, because I am no more dean. I have just left deanship. Uh, my question is, I generally have not published in ORCID-based journals. I have published in Taylor and Francis journals, where ORCID ID is not necessary. I published articles and books from both Taylor Francis or Routledge. Therefore, ORCID is not necessary in that category. But recently, I got a paper from Sage Journal. It's called Alternative. It's a very famous journal in political science. Students of political science here will know that. Scholars of political science will know that. It's a very internationally known journal. They asked me to refer a paper, and that journal asked me whether I ORCID ID. So I had to open one to do that. But having opened there, I thought I would explore opportunities. That's why I'm asking question. Having explored opportunities, I realized that I only opened the ID and got the benefit of writing the referee report, etc. But then I tried to enter my articles, etc. I could not do anything. I don't know why it happened, how it happened. Somewhere some stumbling block came. I could not progress further on that, except that opening of ID, which was useful for me to file the report. Nothing else I could do. Do you think there is some problem in my ID, or there is some, I don't know why it.
So thank you, sir, for once I think I have met you in a very short while. Once I was in University of Hyderabad, but I'll just say sir, what happened is, like, when once you create an ORCID ID, what happened is you need to add your publication. I'll just show you that how you can do that. So as of now, sir, many of the like these publishers, like even Taylor and Francis, have also started, like, if your publication is in that journal, it will automatically displayed to your ORCID profile. Like, say for example, one of my publication I haven't added, like, say So once you logged in here, the profile look like this. And if you go here, you can add I think, sir, you are the same this author, Arun sir.
Yes, yes, yes. These are all are
Okay.
part of the Patna action. Yes.
Okay. So what you can do is, sir, one way of adding publication is by manually, sir. Like going here, add, search. Like there is like different databases are there. You can connect also those with your profile, and also you can add manually, sir. But this will be taking like sir, as you already have so much publication. So what you can do is you go to like this. Maybe after that I'll like add your publication to your profile. So you have to download your profile and here export bibtex file, export, and here add bibtex. Okay, sir. Now, as of now, my 16 publication are there. Okay. So what I'll do, just for your, I'm taking your permission, sir, to add your publication in my profile just for demo purpose, sir. I'll remove it later, sir. So I'll just select all, import workflow.
No, you can add. No problem. I know.
Okay, sir.
I'm happy.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
So
much.
in just you see, sir, all your 16 publication are added in.
Oh, okay.
So this is the
Okay.
way you can add, sir. So
Okay. Now I got. Let it be there. I will add farm more, many more. Uh, But
so
you
if
have to manually do it, or you have to choose from a website, web link.
sir, there are both options are there. Like
When
your
manually you
16
do it, do you think that journal also should be ORCID based or need not be ORCID based?
need not be ORCID based. It can be any
Okay.
journal, sir. It
Any
can be any
journal.
journal.
Fine. Then I
Any
will do
journal.
that. So let
Yes,
it
sir.
be there.
Yes.
Thank you very much for adding my profile.
Yes, sir. Just now I will delete it, sir, because obviously some people will say that oh, you are not from that area. Then still you are including.
Okay, fine. Delete. No problem. I will do that. I will
Okay,
follow
sir.
your step and do that. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay.
But I give permission to continue. Nobody should. If I don't object, who will object?
Sir, right, sir. No,
Yeah.
generally other people generally ask.
Yeah. Fine. No
Yes,
problem.
yes, sir.
As you feel, I will do it now. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
So, any participants have any question?
Thank you, sir, for knowledge sharing session.
Yes, yes, madam. Dr. Satvik. Yes, ma'am. Participants, anyone have any questions? My voice is coming, Manorma ji? Oh, Subhangi madam?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, okay, okay. So I think participants have
Yeah,
not.
and there are
Yes,
questions. Right.
very community session. So, okay, Manorma ji, please continue. Oh, Subhangi ji.
Yes, now I invite once again Vikas sir for more vote of thanks.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. And before the vote of thanks, I would like to share one information among participants. We will share uh, two feedback link, and both will be shared by Dr. Subhangi, and it is mandatory to fill the both feedback form. Yes. So, on behalf of the Indian Research Scholars Association and on behalf of the all participants, I would like to thanks respected as like my elder brother Dr. Mohit sir. Sir, thank you so much for providing us uh, and providing us a lot of knowledge about the ORCID ID. And I would like to also thanks to Professor Arun Patnaik and also Sivaram Rao sir for joining the session. And I would like to also thanks to all the participants for joining the session. So thank you. May I got contact details? Yes, I will send the Gmail ID of the Mohit sir to all participants. So thank you so much. Thank you and thank you Mohit sir once again. Thank you. Bye bye Arun sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun sir. Bye. Thank you, Vikas. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a nice presentation. Though I joined in the middle, I picked up a thread. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Indian Research Associates.
Thank you, Rao sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.